Welcome to this very basic session on 8051 microcontroller in which I would like to highlight onto history of 8051 and then the structure, block diagram and its applications. 8051 microcontroller was initially designed by Intel in 1980s. Then after that Intel re-intended 8051 family employing CMOS technology, and that is why we are mentioning most of the times names as 8089C51 or 80C51. In this case, this C stands for CMOS, and whatever that prefix 80 I that we append to, that may correspond to Atmel or Intel. Sometimes there is NXP, sometimes there is Reynolds, etc. So as far as 8051 microcontrollers are concerned, there are mainly two buses involved. One is a data bus which is having width as 8 bits, and second one is address bus having width of 16 bits. 8051 microcontroller is also called as 8-bit microcontroller just because of that it can process 8-bit data at a time. If we took example of its arithmetic and logical unit, it can have addition of two 8-bit data through registers accumulator and register B, and both registers are also having total bus data width of 8 bits. That is why accumulator and B will be given as inputs to arithmetic and logic unit. The ALU arithmetic and logic unit is also having 8 bits and 8 bits capacity, and then it will generate a result, and result will be stored back into accumulator, which is itself a 8-bit register. So most of the time we are preferring embedded C as a programming language for doing programming or application development using 8051, but there are other options of using assembly and some advanced embedded languages also. This is how microcontroller 8051 looks like. This black plastic coated covering is there, and there are total 40 pins, out of which we can use various ports, various special function registers and their functionality. So most of the time this 8051 is offering us very low inbuilt RAM capacity of 128 bytes, and its internal code flash memory is of 4 kilobytes. Though it is very small, but most of the applications are capable of executing code which can lie within 4 kilobytes of space. So wherever we want to store our program, we are preferring ROM or code memory, and whenever we are interested in storing some data temporarily, we are going to prefer a RAM memory. So RAM memory is a volatile memory. That means as and when it is powered off, the content is also getting lost. There are many applications of 8051 microcontroller, especially in third year. Students are using them for developing, prototyping their mini projects. In final year, mega projects. Later on, if you want to prototype on any product or electronic automation gadget, you can also go for 8051 in that case. On a simpler note, 8051 is offering you the block diagram structure as shown in this figure, and it is having various components including CPU, that is central processor unit, interrupts, memory. There are two buses as explained earlier, address bus and data bus, and there is an oscillator. As you can find, this CPU, which is shown in orange color, is connected with memories and timers and other peripherals via these buses. So few of these buses are unidirectional, few of these buses are bidirectional. Essentially, CPU is a captain of all this entire system. CPU is also duly connected with interrupt control logic, and it is also receiving oscillations continuously using this crystal oscillator connected here. When we talk about central processing unit, it is the mind of any processing machine. It will be responsible for scrutinizing and management of all processes those are copied out in the microcontroller. Those processes are nothing but the lines of program that we are feeding to the microcontroller. User has no power over the functioning of CPU. Once it is powered on, it is its responsibility to execute all instructions one by one and program continuously in loops. CPU is responsible for interpretation of program printed in storage space, that is the code memory or a flash memory, and it will carry out all of them. That means it will try to execute all the instructions and do the projected duty of it. It will also manage different types of registers which are present into 8051 microcontroller. There are interrupts which are nothing but subroutine calls. Those are reading the microcontroller's key functions or jobs. Interrupts are very essential for the real life execution of any product or any gadget. Reset is the highest priority interrupt that we find in many electronic systems. What happens when we restart the computer? It gets restarted right from the beginning. Everything happens right from the beginning, including the loading of OS, including the launch of desktop screen. Similar is the case when we reset the microcontroller, as it is of the highest priority amongst all interrupts. Microcontroller will start its execution from the very first instruction, and all the content, existing content, will get vanished. Interrupts are also helping some other program which are important at that point of time. So with the help of interrupt, those other programs or subroutines are getting triggered. The characteristics of 8051 interrupts are extremely constructive as they are aiding into most of the emergency cases. So for real-time execution of many applications or APIs, interrupts are mandatory. They are providing us methods to postpone or delay the current processes, and they carry out a subroutine task associated with them, and then all over again restart the standard program implementation. So take an example, I'm reading a book and then I have started reading that book right from page number 1. I have read one by one pages and then I reached to the page number 50. Now somebody called me from outside, so I needed to go and service that particular job and then come back and then again start resuming start reading from the page number 51. Okay, so this somebody that is interrupting me, that is nothing but interrupt, because it might be the case that work is urgent and I must service it right at that time. So meanwhile executing the main program, external interrupt may come, and accordingly the associated responsibility or associated subroutine also needs to be executed. Once I execute that associated subroutine, I can again go back to the previous operation. There is also much more thing. There are also much more, many more things to tell about memories, as microcontroller needs a program. Program is nothing but a set of commands, and there needs some storage space. This storage space is giving us availability and area for as a playground for program instructions. So specific tasks are performed in a microcontroller, and those tasks are nothing but subroutines, lines of codes or programs, instructions along with operands. They're everything stored into the memory, and program memory, code memory, flash memory, essentially all these terms are nothing but same. Programs are stored into read-only memory area space or a ROM memory area space, as we need programs to be continuously there throughout the active lifespan of any product. Also, programs needs a memory to amass data or operands for the short term, and the storage space which is employed to momentarily data storage or functioning is also offered by memory. Most of the time it is acknowledged as a data memory, and we also call it as a random access memory for this principal reason. The contents of RAM memory are vanished as soon as the power is turned off, and then accordingly, as you might be aware of, 8051 is offering you the program or code memory space of 4 kilobytes and data memory or RAM memory of 128 bytes. So I guess this much basics is enough to understand the 8051 and its basic block diagram. In part number 2 of this same series, we will be going in detailed architectural view of 8051. Till then, you can keep summarizing and reviewing the same contents, and at the same time I would request you to download 8051 datasheet from resources and start reading first few pages including pin diagram of 8051 and feature specification details of the same. Thank you.